Summer slowdown. It's here. What can we do as resellers to combat the summer slowdown? I believe there's a few things that we can do and can control when we are experiencing slow sales on eBay. So, we're going to be deep diving into a few stores, seeing how they can better optimize their store so they can start generating more sales. So, think of this review as a way that you can maybe take some of these keys and tips to be able to apply to your business to hopefully reignite the flame within your store to start generating more sales. I know the summer slowdown is a real thing. But not just eBay resellers experience the summer slowdown. Worldwide, retail sales are down. Online sales are down during the months of June, July, and August. But what can we do now as resellers to be able to fight against that and to be able to optimize our store so we don't have to go through that summer slump every year? So, if you have questions about maybe anything reselling related or anything about me personally, leave them in the comments section and we will get back. We'll circle back to your question throughout the review. But I do have a few stores to get to, so let's jump right into it. First one, awesome name. We got Cheesy Pickens in the house. So let's share the screen and get right into it. So, first thing right off the bat is I like the branding. So it's not necessary to have, you don't need a fancy banner or a fancy logo to start. But I think showing your buyer that you're taking your business seriously, having some type of branding is nice. You can sign up for a Canva account for free and design something similar to what you're seeing here. And don't spend too much time on it. Don't spend too much time about your store name and what are people going to think and, Cheesy Pickens. Like, what does that mean exactly? It's more about the items that you're putting in your store. So, right off the bat, I do like your branding. It looks very nice. And let's look at some of the photos. What we're looking at for photos from a buyer's point of view is I just want to be able to see the entire item that you're selling. I want to be able to see it well lit, and I want to see a good representation of color accuracy. I want to be able to look at your photo and go, okay, that's a blue and a black shoe. I don't want to look at your photos and go, is that red or pink or what's going on there? You want to minimize as much confusion as possible when you're doing your photos. So you don't want to have a busy background. You don't want to have too much lighting, and you don't want to have too little of lighting. You want to have just the right amount. And I see in these photos here, it looks exactly that. It just looks perfect. These photos pop from your background. The color looks very accurate, not too washed out, but not too under lit. So that's nice. Looks like you're selling quite a few shoes. That's great. Shoes are a great category to niche down in and really kick butt in. Great average sale price, great sell-through rate. So let's see, you got 163 items and you've sold 642 so far with 100% feedback. Let's take a look at your store's sell-through rate in the last 90 days so we can kind of gauge things like your title structure, your pricing, how well your listings are optimized. So we would love a 1% sell-through rate on our stores. Like, beautiful if you can sustain that over 2, 3, 4,000 listings. But I think when you're looking at a 1% sell-through rate, you want to just be able to go up to about 1,000 listings, 1,500 listings. And if you're carrying that 1% sell-through rate up to that amount, great job. Because as you get bigger in your store, you might notice your sell-through rate just slowly goes down because you're adding more items in your store. And obviously you're not able to capture all of the in-demand items. So as you grow your store, you might be maybe sacrificing some of the sell-through rate to be able to add more items in your store. So 1% sell-through rate, we'd love to see 1 to 2 sales a day on this store. So without knowing your listing habit and things like that, it's hard to know like the trajectory. But at 163 items, you've sold 74 in the last 90 days, so almost 1 a day. Maybe you just started on eBay, so maybe in the next 30 days you can kind of complete 90 sales in the last 90 days, which would give you 1 sale a day, and that would be very, very nice. So 74 sales, 163 listings, very good. Let's see what you have been selling. You sold some Echo golf shoes, men's 47, great title, good job. Hydromax leather, spikeless, gray, white, good job on the keywords. Nike React Presto. So I would do this title a little different. Nike React shoes, men's size, and then the rest as keywords. Keen women's slip-on shoes, good. I would put Keen shoes, women's, and then size. And I would spell out size. I wouldn't put SZ, as that is not recognized by any search algorithm, or even the buyer is not typing SZ. So try to spell out the word size when you're listing your shoes. I like to do that so it can differentiate from the model number. I do like that you put the model number in most of your listings, especially when it comes to Nike. So that's good. Hey, Timberland boots, sold them for $50. Good job. All right, so good sales. Nice, good average sale price. Almost everything's above $25, $35. Now let's look at some of your newest listings. So you got Saucony, women's, Peregrine 12. Okay, let's take a look at this a little further. Let's see. Good amount of photos. Good job. Great job. You got like 12, 15 photos there. I like your condition description. I think it's important to have a condition description because most of your buyers are shopping on mobile. So if you're not putting anything in your condition description, and usually don't have access to that if you're listing from your phone, but if you're listing from the desktop, then you're able to put in a quick blurb in your condition description. So when your buyers are shopping on their phone and they're scrolling, they can read that quick blurb in the condition description before they click onto your listing and then possibly find out something they don't like about your shoe. So you got size 12. So I would just reorder the title. So Saucony women's, Saucony shoes women's, and then you're going to put size 11, and then everything else as a keyword. Another thing too, I would highly recommend, and please hear me out, try to offer some type of returns. Because when you do that, from a buyer's point of view, it shows, okay, this seller stand behind their product. They know that if anything goes wrong, I can return it. And shows up really that seller to buyer transparency. When you don't offer returns from a buyer's point of view, I'm thinking, well, what happens if it doesn't fit? What happens if I don't like it? What happens if they send me the wrong pair of shoes? Then you're kind of stuck with that. From a buyer's point of view, they're going to do everything they can to get their money back. So when you do not accept returns, it will enable the buyer, if there is a mistake or it doesn't fit or they want their money back, they can force their way through a return. But now instead of getting a doesn't fit return or a didn't like return, they are now forced to open a return and file an item not as described. If you see here, it's called the money back guarantee for eBay. So buyers also have rights, and by offering returns, you're able to open yourself up to more sales. So, don't think that, you're going to be flooded with returns all of a sudden. And just think about how many more sales you can make by opening up that opportunity. I don't know of any retail, any online storefront that does not offer some type of returns. If you want to make more sales, offer returns. You can even put buyer pays for return shipping. That's fine. It's better than nothing, right? I think your shipping price looks on point. Great job there. Your item specifics. You got shoe size 11. And you got a nice little item description here. Thank you for stopping by my shop. Up for sales, a pre-owned pair. Women's, please see pictures for condition. Thank you. Couple things I would just add here. If you go and look at my item description, I basically have this as a template, and this goes into all my listings. Basic, simple, gets the point across. If the clothing is used, it is cleaned and inspected per eBay guidelines. And then I have in bold here, please note, item measurements are approximate. Previous washings may change the sizing. Please compare the measurements and photos to ensure proper fit. Clothing is stored in a pet and smoke-free environment. 60-day free returns. And usually I add something in multiple a shipping discount for multiple quantity orders. So something like that along those lines. And I would almost consider making the font a little bit larger so it's easier to read for most people. But great job on the item specifics. You filled them out completely. You even got the European size. You got the UK size. Great job on that. That's very good work. So just right off the bat, I think getting some type of return policy for your store is going to help. Let's take a look at a few other of your listings. So let's just knock out a few titles. So similar to kind of what you've heard before is we're trying to follow the title structure of brand, item, gender, size. And that carries over for shoes, for all types of clothing, for a lot of the media and video games. You're going to always want to start with brand. And what is the item? Like, is it a boot? Is it shoes, sneakers, flip-flops? What is the item? So brand, item, and then the gender, and then what is the size? So you kind of have things everywhere, and you have one of the most important things is the size, and you have it at the end of all of most of your listings. So brand, item, gender, size. So you got some vintage Vans. Awesome. Vintage Vans shoes, men's, size 15. That's crazy. Good job. That's a good size there. So size 15 would go right after gender, and then just keep all these keywords. You have great keywords. Just keep them after the size. So you got Olakai's. I would do Olakai's shoes, men's, size 10. I would do Cole Haan shoes, women's, size 5B. We got Merrell shoes, women's, size 8. Adidas shoes, men's, size 10.5. Nike shoes, men's, size 12. And everything else like Air Jordan, Retro, Gym, Red, keywords. Leave those as keywords. Remember, we're trying to capitalize the most buyers when we're creating our titles. So that means our start of our title should be very common, very basic. Nike shoes. We want to capture all of the people searching for Nike shoes. We want to capture all of the people that are searching for Adidas shoes. So when you put in Nike Air Jordan 12 Retro Gym Red, you're going to be ranking much lower in search. You'll be ranking high for that particular shoe, but how many more people are searching for Nike shoes? And how many more people are searching for Nike Air Jordan 12 Retro Gym Red? Are more people searching for that, or are more people searching for Nike shoes? So we want to go into the most majority of buyers that are searching for that item. So brand, item, gender, size, and carry that over to all of your listings. What I would recommend that you do is go into your bulk listings editor, and you can do a lot of these listings in one shot. You already have the keywords. Great job. Now it's just rearranging the words so it can be better optimized for search. There are a few titles here that could use some more characters. I think when we do all the sourcing, do the cleaning, do the photos, do the listing, and then we cut ourselves short by not filling out the entire title. eBay gives you 80 characters, which are just opportunities for you to connect with the correct buyer. So when you don't fill out all 80 characters, you are actually losing out on more search traffic that you would if you filled out the full 80. So you got Puma, men's, C-Ray, SD sneakers, US 14. So there's many more keywords that we could be plugging into this title to help it be better found in search. So for anyone out there that's, maybe thinking their sales are slow and they want to figure out how they can do something without spending money and just start, optimizing your listings that you already have on your store, start going back looking at your titles. Maybe you only have 60 characters. Well, there's several more words that we can be adding in there to be able to help generate more sales and get more eyeballs on your items. So, but for the most part, all your other titles look good. If you could squeeze in an extra word or two, do it, please, because you're helping the buyer connect with your item. This is why it is so important to learn keywords. To always be diligent in your study of trending keywords, learning about your products that you're selling. I know when I first started as a clothing reseller, it was difficult to grasp even some men's clothing. And then when you're getting into women's clothing, it's a whole nother world. So I just say the more that you learn about the items that you're selling, the more keywords you're going to be able to pinpoint and spot on and match up with your buyer, and the less generic keywords that you'd be using, like long sleeve, collar, plaid. Those are good, but at the same time, a lot of those are found in item specifics already. So why would we be putting our item specifics as keywords when they're already searchable in the item specifics? So that's where we need to become master sellers of what we're selling, so we can start getting different keywords that aren't found in the item specifics and plugging them into our titles. So there's a couple of other guides that you guys can look at. I know Vendu did a big extensive research this year on trending keywords. So start incorporating some of those keywords into your titles, and you'd be surprised. I think it's better than not. But also, on the other side is you don't want to just keyword spam your title, because then you're going to be getting buyers that aren't necessarily looking for that item. So you really need to do some studying of what you're selling. What keywords can I plug into these items to help them get more eyeballs on them? So we got Mephisto, men's. So yeah, just going back to your titles, adding a few more keywords, rearranging. So it's brand, item, gender, size. That's really going to be helpful. Geez, you pick up some great stuff though. That is the hardest part of reselling, is finding good stuff to sell. If you can find the good stuff to sell, your reselling life will be nice. You'll be cruising along. It'll be a little bit easier than if you were setting yourself up to fail by putting bad, low sell-through rate, low ASP items in your store. So we really want to focus when we're a beginner reseller to how can I find the good stuff? How can I find it without breaking the bank? You don't want to go find the good stuff and go, I paid $80 for this Patagonia jacket and it sells for $90 on eBay. It's a great item, great average sale price, but you spent $80. So how can we keep our costs as low as possible, buy good items without breaking the bank? So good job at finding good stuff. A lot of unique stuff too. Like I personally have never seen Nike boots like this. So great job. Cool. So good work there. Shoes are brand new. They were tried on, and they have some scuffs due to storing. Okay. I personally would just list them as pre-owned, because there's going to be more traffic in that category anyways. So I would switch this condition to pre-owned, and then I would just state that same thing. Shoes are brand new, they were tried on, and they have some scuffs, because they aren't new without box if they have scuffs. That could just lead to a lot of buyer confusion and open you up to the possibility of getting an item not as described. But great job, good shipping price. I like that. And then obviously just start. The thing with returns is that you can always try it. Just try it. See if it measure your store on 1 month with no returns, and then measure your store with 1 month with returns, and compare the two. See, did I make more sales and minimize returns in that period? For those who aren't offering returns, try it. You can always go back and just see. Returns aren't for everyone, but I do just say try it before you have an opinion about it. Another great job with your item specifics. You're doing great with that. That's another thing that most people, get through their listings fast, and they want to do it fast, and they want to get it done, and then they wonder why they don't have sales, and then they have 4 item specifics filled out. So just going back to mastering the products that you're selling, so you can plug in some of these item specifics that you guys can help get more eyeballs on your items. And then just revamping your item description there. But good job. I will record this and send you via email, also with a PDF description of a breakdown of everything I just talked about, so you can kind of have that as a guide as you continue to make these changes. It looks like your store is still kind of up and going. You might not be listing too many. It looks like you listed one today, and it looks like you took a break July. It looks like you took about a week off. But it looks about one a day, two a day, it seems like, which is great. Slow and steady wins the race. Keep picking up good stuff. What I would do is go back to your listings and sort from newest to oldest and start working on your oldest listings first, like as far as title and stuff. But definitely focus on title, try with the returns, and see how your store goes from there. But good job. I appreciate you. And follow up if you have any questions. Now let's get into it. What's going on, Yosef? Sup? How are you? Doing well? Beautiful day. You asked, do you also do other people's stores and see how we can get better? Yeah, there's a sign up sheet in the comment section or link down below. I did that because I was doing store reviews and kind of had a hard time keeping track through the comments and through email and through Instagram. Everyone wanted a store review, and it got to be about 20, 30 people reaching out every week, and it was just too hard for me to keep track of who was in order. And so that's why we have the sign up sheet, keeps you in line, and it's been nice. I appreciate you guys, supporting the channel and everything, and I just want to do my best to be able to provide the best value possible of what I've learned, so you can take that and apply it to your store. So there is a sign up sheet. You could check it out, and yeah, I review all stores. It doesn't even need to be an eBay store. It can literally just be maybe your inventory system or your shipping station. You want to get better with photos. That is the best way I can help you, because that is just what I do. So, but yeah, mainly store reviews. That's what I like to do, and just be able to just put myself as a buyer in your store. And these are the things that I would kind of look for as a potential buyer. But appreciate you. What's going on, Jamie? Jamie's in the house. Appreciate your support. You're awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Every time I come on here and just get continual support from the time and time again from the long time members. We're hitting about 1 year on the channel. I think first week of August. And boy, go back and look at some of my first videos. Yeah, they were interesting. But, I feel like I, have refined things from there, and now just trying to provide you guys with the best value possible. So getting into value, I want to open up this book right here that I just finished a couple months ago, and I appreciate everyone's support and feedback. I have done the ultimate guide to eBay item specifics for clothing in this book. It goes over hundreds of item specifics to help you guys go further faster, mastering the items that you're listing, especially if you're a clothing seller. You're going to want to hit the ground running with this book. When I first started, there was no such guide like this. You had to go into Google and type in all of the definitions for these item specifics. What is a balloon sleeve? What is a bell sleeve? What is a casual sleeve? Cold shoulder, flared, flutter, kimono. So it can be overwhelming, which is why I developed this book right here. And I think that it is going to help you guys sharpen up your skills, be able to have a physical guide by you while you do your listings. After you read this book, you will be a master and much more proficient than 90% of other resellers out there. You must know the product that you're selling in order to take advantage of finding the right buyers. So you can also find it on Amazon as well. And I think having a hard copy is a little bit better, because you can have it physically when you're doing your listings. There is also an eBook available too that does work on mobile and desktop. So I appreciate everyone who has supported the book so far, blown away by the feedback, and everyone's just loving it. So great stuff, and I appreciate you all. We have another store to get into. We actually have a comic book store, Timmy's Stores. 99% feedback. We have 887 items and almost 2,000 sold. Okay, let's see what we can be doing better to help optimize your store in any way. So let's see. Miguel, you asked if there's a discount code. Sometimes Amazon runs a discount, so you're just going to have to save the page, and they run 15% off discount, 20% off discount. I think the discount just went away today. So just save it, and it kind of revolves around, I've seen it as low as $32. So just save it, keep refreshing it, and go from there. But yeah, so let's see how many you're selling a day, because at 887 items, we'd love to see 8 sales a day. And it seems like you're selling a little bit of everything, so this should be interesting. Wow, great job. Great sell-through rate. So 584 items sold. Let's see. You are averaging 6.5 sales a day. Great job, Timmy Stores. Right on. So good job. That's great. You are selling a little bit of everything, so that's probably why you're seeing, everything sellers have a great opportunity if you sell the things that are actually in demand, like electronics. You're selling the Apple wireless keyboard, a Logitech mouse, you got some comic book stuff. So great job there. What that tells me as a reseller, if you're able to maintain as close as to a 1% sell-through rate per day in your store, that shows me that you're doing good titles. You're pricing your items correctly. You're optimizing your listings so they get found. Good job. So let's see what we can do to get better. First, let's take a look at some of your sales. You had a Marvel sale. That was a nice one there. You had a few other comic books, some lotted up. Good job. Yeah, you're crushing it. Great job. So, just off the top is I would try to elaborate a little more on your keywords. And I know with comic books that might be interesting, but you can try adding a lot of the characters' names. I think that can be good. If you're able to add in maybe the author, that can be good. Adding in as many keywords that are going to be relevant to your item is going to be probably the biggest help possible, just to help you optimize your titles a little bit more. So let's look at some of your newest listings. Let's kind of see how many you're listing a day. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you listed 4 yesterday, and you listed how many the day before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So wow. So don't know about your listing strategy. You could always follow up with me on the email, kind of giving me a brief intro to what your listing habit looks like. But I think as long as you stay consistent in your listing, that's really going to help with forward momentum. Whether you're listing 5 a day and then one day you list 10, as long as you just don't drop below the minimum amount that you're listing, that's going to be helpful. So let's look at some of your titles. Yeah, I just think your titles could just use a little bit more keywords. And I would recommend taking a couple more photos, at least 2, the front and the back. Maybe even open up the comic if you can and take a picture of the inside. That's going to help. You do have 60-day returns, buyer pays return shipping. Good job. And a great shipping price. Awesome. So let's see your item specifics. Great job. Item description. So I know it's a little different than clothing, but an item description from a comic view point of view, or whatever you're selling as an everything seller, just having key pointers about your return policy, maybe discounted shipping for multiple quantity orders, and maybe a little details about how the item is stored in a pet and smoke-free environment. You can kind of elaborate on that. But having something a little bit more, giving the buyer, a lot of times they don't even read the item description, but giving the buyer a little bit more detail about what the item is about, how it's stored, and whatnot. You got best offer turned on. Great job. Let's take a look at another one. You got some soap in the house. Let's see. I don't know if you made factory reject soap. Interesting. I definitely would consider adding more photos. You want to just have your photos tell the story. And I know you can only take so many photos of soap, right? You're like, Bo, how many photos should I be taking of soap? It's soap. So just taking different angles. I think also when you do take photos of things like action figures and stuff like that, having like a ruler, even like with jewelry or soap, for example, having a ruler gives the buyer, okay, how big is this soap? Just a little bit more to it, because I think if someone were to buy this, there is a chance where people could go, oh, it's a lot smaller than I thought. Is it a piece of soap like that big, or is it a big old bar of soap like that big? So I know it says 5 ounces, but the looks can be deceiving. So maybe consider adding some kind of measuring tape or measuring stick. Not so necessary for your comic books, but when it does come to more hard goods like this. So good return shipping. Good job on the item specifics. And all right. So yeah, your item description, just a little bit more, adding a little bit more to it will be helpful. You got some more soap. You got some Venom, Sign of the Boss, 1997, #1 single issue. So I don't use things like parentheses and stuff like that. No punctuations. It's just not able to be read by the search algorithm. But, putting #2 on there, but things like parentheses, I usually just try to be able to stuff the title with as many keywords as possible. So, yeah. You lighten up some of these. Very good. Let's see if you're taking more photos. So you took ones of the front and ones of the back. All right. Good condition. $20 ground shipping. And best offer. All right. So, yeah, just what I would do is go back to your oldest listings first. Start looking at the things that aren't selling in your store and start working on the title. Start seeing how can I add more keywords, maybe have some characters or more descriptions about the author or who wrote the comic book, putting that into your title. So you got supernatural thrillers, #1, cover, lower grade. I don't think a lot of buyers are typing in, I want a supernatural thriller comic book, but I want it low grade. So you'd want to use, I know you're trying to talk about the condition in the title, but the title should be reserved for keywords that are actually going to attract the buyer, not detract them. And by putting something like lower grade, that should be reserved for the condition description. So, but other than that, like, your photos look good. They look well lit. I would just consider adding more. You got some coffee. So 3X Starbucks holiday coffee. Interesting. This one's expired. Best by 09/30/2022. I probably wouldn't put that up there. I don't know. I probably just wouldn't be interested in selling expired coffee, and I don't think a lot of people are interested in buying expired coffee. But keep going. Like, your sell-through rate is really strong, and you've obviously found a great niche with comic books. This is the definition of niching down. You do have a little bit of everything, but for the majority, like 90% of your store is comic books, and you're crushing it. Great job. So now I would just work on things like consistency in your listing, adding in a few more photos, adding in a few more keywords to your titles. Remember, eBay gives you 80 characters, and if you're using all 80, you just have more of an opportunity to sell that item. But good job, and I don't know how you're going about your pricing, because a lot of your comic books seem to be, some are more rare than others, but with your strong sell-through rate, you do have your pricing down. I don't have a lot of knowledge in comic books, so it seems to be working for you, selling 6.5 a day. I say just keep staying consistent, and say you're listing 10 a day and you're selling 6.5 a day. It's okay to go from 10 a day to 12 a day to 13 a day. You have some strong metrics in your store for having 889 items. So good job there. You could follow up with me in the email that I'm going to send off to your way, giving you a PDF breakdown of what I just talked about here, and I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. If you have any questions about me personally or reselling or what the heck I'm even doing, I'm here to help you guys. So that is my goal and mission, is to just be an open book to be able to help you guys grow your business. Speaking of growing your business, Marcus Dixon and I have a reseller mentorship. We just hit over 50 members just the other day, people growing their stores, implementing the same tips, implementing the similar strategies that we use in our business that helped us do over $320,000 in sales last year on eBay. So with that, you get a store review, you get an item specifics guide, you get hundreds of hours of pre-recorded calls, a reseller spreadsheet, and joining a community of like-minded individuals growing their business. So we offer a 7-day free trial. You can try it out, join the community, see how you like it. It is built on Discord, so you are going to have some familiarity with Discord, but it's very easy to set up. And we work with you 9 hours a week via Zoom, helping you guys, walking through your stores, holding your hand if we need to. We are there. There is no such thing as a stupid question. We are here to go from the base question to upper higher level tier that we have here, which is more of a private coaching with Marcus and I every Wednesday. So you can check it out, linked down below. Really awesome, and it truly is my passion and purpose is to help people sell, resell, and start their own business. I love selling on eBay, but I love helping people more, much more fulfilling and much more potential and purpose that I feel when I'm helping you guys. But yeah, if you guys are watching this on the replay and you do want a store review and you're wondering why your sales are slow, you could check out link down below where there's a sign-up sheet and it holds your place and spot to get your store reviewed for next week's store reviews. I appreciate y'all, and I hope you all have a blessed rest of the day, and take care.